Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Court 1 here at the 4th World Age Group Underwater Hockey Championships. It's semi-finals day, and it is all happening here at the Doon Kennedy Hobart Aquatic Centre. As you can see there, stream being brought to you by GoFundMe.com/Hobart 2017. 5 seconds left on the clock. I'm Nick Martin, and joining me in the booth, I have a young GB boy and a young NZ boy. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
And hey guys, I'm Nick Houston and I play in the NZ Under-23 Men's. And as we get started here of this, what should be a very close match, bit of stagnant play in the middle. As both teams set up, get ready to initiate their game plan.
You see the puck on the far side. Welcome to the booth, boys. Is this your first time in here?
No, I was in there.
And Nick, yourself, obviously one of the highest goal scorers here in the Under-23 Men's Division. Is this your first time in the booth?
No, it's not. It's my second time. I commentated with Scott Knowles. I believe it was another Under-19 boys game.
And it's a ferocious start here. We've got the refs playing advantage on the surface. Looks like New Zealand in the black there. GB in the white as New Zealand flicks that off the wall and moves into that centre corridor. Dangerous swim from Sam Cooper's NZ boys there, Nick.
Yeah, and a really great GB defence there. They'll be tested early on in this half, and let's see how they bounce back and recover.
Yeah, it's a ferocious start from New Zealand as they drive the corridor hard on the tray. We go to the surface, check the referees. They're looking at each other. Looks like hands in the air. And New Zealand number two there. Looks like James Ramsbottom putting that one in, Nick. Great start for New Zealand.
Yeah, and a well-executed goal. Big drive down the middle. Very good for the Kiwis' mental headspace, as they unfortunately did lose the last game where GB beat them 5-1. 5-2. Good win by them. So now they come into this game fresh with a goal up, and let's see how GB responds with it. Alright, Kiwis holding down that middle burst, maintaining puck and moving it around to the side.
Now, Tom, GB obviously having a great tournament, finishing equal top of the ladder there with France and drew with them. So it actually came down to a goals against, which separated them on the top of the ladder. And as you said, when they met in game 188 of the round robin, it was 5-2 to GB. So probably a little bit of a shock start for them there, going one down early. And Nick, Sam Cooper, he's a fairly experienced junior coach in New Zealand. He's obviously revved the boys up well to start this game.
Yeah, he has. I mean, I'm sure they've done all their mental prep, as I'm sure the GBs have done. But yeah, Sam Cooper's a great coach. He knows the boys really well, and I'm sure he's done what they've needed to do to, rack themselves up, get themselves sorted for what is a great semi-final.
As we see New Zealand flick the puck across the far wall there, and both teams just setting up their structures. Who do you think's going to look to play the space in this game, Tom? Yeah, no, look, you don't have to tell me, mate. I'm Australian, so I don't even know where the wall is. And Nick, the NZ boys, they'll be looking to play that fast swimming game.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't personally been too involved with them and knowing, what sort of strategies they're going for, but I assume, like both teams, they'll play a style that allows them to win. So they'll
It's wise coaching, Nick.
Wise coaching, but no, they'll look at the tools that they have and what's presented in front of them, as I'm sure GB will be doing, and they'll say, hey guys, look, they're locking it up on the wall, what can we do to counter, what can we do to move forward? And having said that, moving forward, there is a obstruction call against New Zealand.
As we switch Tom's mic on in the booth here, probably a highlight of our commentary to start with this morning. As we see New Zealand getting pushed back to their own defensive 5 metres there. And this will be an interesting free puck in the centre of the goals to see if GB can try and claw back a bit of momentum, Tom.
Yeah, they've worked hard on their free pucks, and it's going to be really interesting. Got Tom taking it, the captain, and they'll just be looking to pile it into the middle now.
Now, Tom obviously sporting a fantastic rig. I've seen the Tom Pitchforth rig pulled out a couple of times he's up there probably with Nick Healy for rigs of the tournament. Nick, you reckon?
To be honest, I haven't actually seen what he looks like, but
Lost for words.
Yeah,
I just
lost
thought
for
you'd be
words.
straight to Healy's defence there.
Oh
as you
yeah,
know.
definitely. But yeah.
So the other thing Tom's obviously got going for him is he's dating the coach's daughter, which is
dating the coach's daughter. That might be how he got on the team. We don't really know, but
and also then the coach's son in the team as well.
Yes.
So that must make an interesting dynamic in team meetings.
yeah, it definitely does. You've got half the team trying to mock him because he's dating the coach's daughter, and then you've got poor Matty sitting there not knowing what to do.
As the GB boys take a free puck, firing that into a dangerous position for New Zealand here. All numbers down, but the Kiwis just managing to clear that one wide. So
we have another call breaking
there. Against New Zealand. So we see the fist out there for a team warning against New Zealand for breaking. I guess the other question I've got for you, Tom, is the fact that Zach Tate loves a good spray tan going to make a difference to the outcome of this game?
Oh, I definitely think it will. With a bit of luck, that spray tan will come off, make the pool a bit cloudy. Kiwi won't see what's going on, and he'll get the goal.
Classic GB tactics there, as we see.
Couldn't have said it any better
this
myself.
puck again. Quick Kiwi player off the hit there, Nick.
Yeah, we've got plenty of numbers on the bottom. Well, a lot of numbers, and it looks as though a Kiwi has spread it out wide. Good defence, but very good GB capitalising back on. Throwing that puck
we've got
back
a signal on the surface here. The near side referee. We've got hands signalling for a goal. And we've got an equaliser from GB there. We'll look for a number. Looks like GB number 5, Christopher Gilson, putting that one in.
Yeah, Christoph Gilson, vice captain of the team. He was also out in Spain a couple of years ago, and really good player here. One of the youngest players in the country, actually, that's played Euroclubs, Nationals. He's won it all.
Sorry, I've lied for you there. It looked like a 5 from my position here in the booth, but it's actually number 3, Oliver Carnock-Crawford, putting that one in.
The only Welshman on the team.
Now, you may be able to confirm this rumour for me, but do you get a grant as a GB team if you put a Welshman in your team?
Unfortunately, no. The Sheep of Wales get a bit of a break, though, so it's all okay.
Lovely. And we did get a confirmation that was number 3 for GB. Who was that?
So that's Oliver Carnock-Crawford.
And a great way to amp up this first half. GB took that advantage puck. It looked to be before the Kiwis were ready, and they capitalised on it very well. So all credit to them.
Yeah, so we've got referee Nathan Whelan there, local Hobart boy, signalling the illegal knocking down of the puck there by NZ as GB set up in the middle of the court here for a free puck, Tom.
Yep, not really sure what they're going to be doing, if I'm honest, but they'll be hoping to get forwards. They've got a lot of different free pucks that they have practiced, and it looks as though Kiwis have got the puck now, unfortunately, but they'll want to get it back and drive again. Yeah,
look, good turn from the Kiwi forward or wing there. I'm not quite sure which position that would be, as my NZ structure knowledge is quite limited. Nick, I'd have to ask you, obviously, Rob Tinkler would be a player you know quite well. He coached the the GB under-19 boys last year, and there's quite a few similar guys in that team from Castellon. So I've got 2 questions. One, do you think that's going to help the GB guys coming up against this NZ outfit? And 2, who do you think Rob's going to be barracking for in this game?
All right. Second question first. We've been getting a lot of Snapchats of him with New Zealand tops on, but GB hats on. So I'm sure he'll probably be proud to see his boys that he's coached, both sides, coming into this game, but I'm hoping it will be New Zealand. Back to that first point.
The GB boys understanding the NZ structures.
Right. Look, Rob's a fantastic player and a fantastic coach. I've had the pleasure of working with him and playing with him many times, and I'm sure he's taught the boys amazing things. And whether or not they've adapted and learnt, and whether our teams have adapted and learnt, I'm not sure, but I can only promise that he's given some great knowledge down to the boys, and it seems to have worked. Both teams are in the semi-finals at a World Champs.
Yeah, look, he definitely puts his heart and soul into his hockey, as we see the Kiwis taking possession and just turning that GB drive against them there. Tom, for me, it certainly looked like NZ came out of the blocks firing, but halfway through this first half, GB have probably, for my mind, managed to wrestle back a bit of control here. Yeah,
they've really, switched up, turned up to the next level, and they'll be wanting to carry that through for the rest of the game now.
And we've got Rob Tinkler timing in on the chat. He's on the fence. He can't lose, which is a pretty good position to be in and a rarity as a coach or a player. So as we see GB recycling the puck towards the middle there. But once again, NZ just managing to take possession and turn that drive across to the wall there, Nick.
Yeah, and Tom, just like you said before, GB have done a good job at holding up that pressure that the New Zealand have provided. Again, it's semi-finals hockey. one goal, yeah, it's a goal, but it's another mental barrier for the other team. Look, they came back even stronger, and they scored a goal of their own, so you never count anyone out.
Yeah, so we've got Nathan Whelan, the Australian ref there, just signalling Zach Tate. I think that was a spray tan infringement. I might have mixed my single up. It could have been a stick infringement, but knowing Zach, and I've commentated a game with earlier, and his father Ian, actually one of our biggest fans of the Glory Days, and putting in the highest bid so far for purchase of the Glory Days headband. That's Zach Tate being warned there by Nathan Whelan, as we see NZ calling a timeout, and we've got some vision there of the GB coach. Who's coaching this GB team, and what do you think they'd be saying there, Tom?
So you got Richard Adams. He was our assistant coach in Castellon, and after Rob left, he moved up, took up the mantle. He's probably just telling the boys to stick with their game plan. You know, they'll have an idea of what they want to do in this game, and he'll be making sure that they stick to it, do the work that they need to get the next goal.
And we see Sam Cooper, just some vision of him on screen there, Nick. Now, a lot of our commentating this week has been done by the expert commentator Stuart Rastafarian Parkinson, and for my mind, Sam Cooper is definitely rocking the superior face raccoon, and I'm just, is that beard going to be the difference come the full time of this game?
You'd hope not. You'd hope not, but no, he's been sporting that look for a while. I think he moved on from his job as he prepared for this tournament, so he really wanted to look the part.
And just another question there, the camo spearing wetsuit, do you think he's got that on to try and sneak into the court and get some closer view as a coach, or...?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't think he could keep up with some of those GB boys.
Heard it here first. Sam Cooper can't keep up.
Oh, yeah.
As we see Hugo Chavez there signalling, it looks like he's pointing at the NZ number 5 and dishing out a warning, as we see GB with a free puck on the far wall.
I mean, it's been a pretty close half. There's been no major breakaways, which is credit to both teams' attack and defence. Right, we've seen a lot of stagnant play in the middle of the pool. As we see another switch by New Zealand, going to credit to what you're saying before, how the Kiwis apparently like to switch it. I wouldn't know. And as they look to reset on that subs bench and get their fresh players in and hopefully make something happen.
Yeah, look, a big exodus of Kiwi players in a sub there, as we see GB trying to push that back to the corridor, but it's an NZ player who's managed to gather it and switch it across. We've got in the chat, Ian Tate is the spray tan king, like father, like son. So Zach's dad there obviously setting the scene for him as we go to our surface camera as play gets bottled up on the far wall there, Tom.
Yeah, England, GB, England. Oh, God, the Scottish people will hate me for that. I'm going to get crucified back home, unfortunately. But no, GB, they'll want to take it away from the sub-box, not let the Kiwis get any fresh players in. And, they're driving forward well here, but the Kiwi defence, it's very tough to break down. Yeah,
I think for my mind, the GB boys certainly maintaining more aggressive pressure at this stage, but probably just a few runs there where they're just letting themselves be dispossessed a little bit easy, and that's allowing New Zealand to take that possession, Nick, and really kind of keep them out of that dangerous defensive 5 metre zone.
Yeah, and with that early goal from the Kiwis, really amping the boys up, I assume. They coming off, like I said before, coming off their loss yesterday will get them even more fired up. All right, and I think my personal opinion is this game is going to come down right to the wire, as it's 1-1 at the moment. It's looking, again, really back and forth. Both teams have had an amazing crack at attack and defence. As we see the GB, I assume, putting it into the corner.
Yeah, it's definitely bottled up in the corner there. Look, it's been a fantastic couple of days of finals hockey. We've had 3 games going to sudden death, golden goal, extra time, as it's just a tussle with numbers in the corner there at the moment, and a bit hard to tell really who's got control. And this game could well go the same way given how tight this contest is, as it's right on the corner of the goal bin there, Tom.
Yeah, looks like the Kiwis have managed to take it away again, and something's been called on the top.
Yeah, so you've got Hugo, the referee from Canada there, signalling an advantage. He was playing for some time for an illegal knockdown, and New Zealand getting pushed back to their goal bin as GB calls a timeout there, Nick.
Yeah, just going back to what you were saying, these teams are very close, right? And I think that makes for a great semi-final. I mean, it's all good and fun to have one team walk over the other, but it's a really good quality game to watch, and I'm sure the boys are enjoying it. Nothing's better than a real close, good quality game of hockey. As Sam Cooper's talking to the lads, probably giving his insight as to what he can see from the side.
Yeah, no, Sam, obviously a very patriotic Kiwi there, and he'll be hoping his boys can pull this one together. Now, Nick, I wanted to ask you a question. Obviously, you're sitting at the top of the goal scorers for the under-23 men's division. You've got a game coming up this afternoon. I wanted to know, do you think it's got anything to do with that little extended kind of earring you've got, getting that earlobe going? Is that kind of working like a third flipper for you, or...?
It's all about the hydrodynamics under the water.
Aero, I like that. We can
aerodynamics. There you go. Just help me to get that extra little space. I just want to double check. That might be Nick Healy on top of the goal scoring.
No, mate, I believe you've got him covered.
All right, bragging rights when I get back. All right. As we can see that the GBs are trying to do the same as me, having a drive at the goal, and the Kiwis...
just a bit of cheeky confidence there. I thought it was me who was getting called out this week. But, as New Zealand managing to clear that one to the corner. No, I believe you've got Nick Healy covered by one goal, I think. It went 13-12, and then actually Ben Pavois-Smith sitting in third there on, I think, 10 or 11. So you guys managing to put a lot in the bin. And this New Zealand team will be hoping they pull something together. No, I have lied. It is Nick Healy who's got 13. He's pipped you by one, mate. You had 12.
No, I think the information's wrong. It's definitely Nick Houston. Ignore that one. But as we can see, the Kiwis doing a really good job at holding it in the corner, and a ref playing advantage. Unsure what that is about. But let's see how the GB guys regroup and look for a new form of attack.
Yeah, look, it appears NZ's managed to drive that out, so I dare say they're playing advantage for New Zealand there, as GB being pushed back to the middle of the court here, Tom.
Yeah, and...
Which team? As we've got a referee signal on the surface here, if we can switch to the deck camera, there's a warning against NZ number 7, so that's Logan Stevenson there. Logan, is he known for his warnings?
He's a pretty clean player. I mean, I'd have to back them all to be clean players, but no, he's a really good guy. Don't see him fouling too much.
And where's Logan from?
He's from Auckland, same as myself.
The Northern boys, hey?
The Northern boys, I believe there are a lot
got another referee's advantage being played there. It's been great to see the referees playing as much advantage as they have as the puck's bottled up on that far wall. It seems to be New Zealand just grabbing the momentum here, Tom.
Yeah, definitely they're pushing out of their half, trying to attack now. It's going to be interesting how far they can get up the pool in the last 40 seconds of this half.
Yeah, as we close out this first half here, both teams really has gone either way, and we see a GB player making a bit of a break there, but just not managing to maintain possession, and the New Zealand backs doing a great job of seagulling those GB forwards as they come through, Nick.
Yeah. I just to say, what's your guys' take on how the strategies are going at the moment? So we've got what appears to be both teams playing some sort of a wall game. From my perspective, it doesn't really seem to be favouring anyone. What are your thoughts on how they're playing so far, and what do you think each team could do to change that up?
Well, yeah, they seem very equally matched on the wall, so I think in the second half they're going to have to focus on really opening it up at those opportune moments, getting into past the halfway point, last third of the pool, and then driving at force 5 towards the centre of the 10.
Oh, lovely.
So we see Chief Referee Simon Talbot there signalling half-time. And, yeah, look, I think that's a really good question, Nick, is how you can change these kind of games and who is kind of trying to wrestle control. Obviously, I think especially in these under-19 boys divisions, we end up often a lot of eagerness overtaking the ability to kind of remember what they've been told by their coach or to execute a game plan. And often that eagerness and that passion to want to succeed kind of... impacts itself on the game is trying to hit the puck as hard as you can, which ends up just two teams pushing it hard against each other.
I can actually attest to that at our game versus GB against Tom yesterday. When you get in there, not that you lose your head, but it's just, some guy comes in and he clean hits you, and you say to yourself, I got to get that guy back. I know what I should be doing, but I need to get that guy back. Yeah. But no, all in good spirit, no one wants to be beaten, like dummied or beaten past, but at the same time, you got to remember the strategy, you got to remember the game plan, and a team that can absorb the other team throwing whatever they want at them and continuing to perform to their game plan is the signs of a really good team.
We'll just keep it clean in the chat there, please, Jake Jordan, as our admins remain. No, you're fine, Nick. No, you're fine. It's just our screen chat there. We've got someone having a few too many cups of tea at home in GB and just unleashing onto the chat. So we'll clean that one out of there. Can you clean that out of the chat there for me, Greg? Is that what you were going to do for me? This one here, mate, that needs to go. Just sorry, I thought you were doing that, but you were. It's all right. If you can fix that for me, as we see the New Zealand team here now. I guess another big question I have here for you, Tom, is do you think the white bathers impede the performance of your team?
Oh, definitely. We, as a team, hate them. I mean, don't get me wrong, the kit is very, very nice, but white is not the most flattering of colours, especially at the end of 9 days of playing hockey. It stains, it gets a little bit yellow, a bit mouldy. It's not pleasant.
I was kind of more concerned with the see-through nature of the white bathers, and it seems to be something that GB and the French just persist with, Nick. They just don't seem to take the hint sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. We stick with the classic black. Can't go wrong with that. And even our blue togs, I do agree with what you're saying. Just wear and tear at the end of the tournament. But fortunately, we do not have the see-through problem.
As we have a look into the crowd there with some New Zealand fans getting excited. It's a pretty even-looking crowd out there in terms of the GB and the Kiwis, but certainly be a lot of Kiwis travel over. We've sold over half of our week-long passes to Kiwi supporters, and there's actually more New Zealanders than there are Australians here, which is impressive considering we're in Australia, but that's not unusual as a lot of them travel over here to just take our jobs. So, Tom, it's something similar. We've been thinking about bringing in maybe like a Brexit strategy into Tasmania. Do you think maybe that's the solution?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you've got to get rid of the bit you don't want. That said, Brexit is a very sore subject back home. We don't talk about Brexit back home.
As we get underway here in the second half, and you've got GB in the white, NZ in the black, and it's the GB team once again applying the pressure against New Zealand and pushing them back into their defensive half there, Nick.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what that halftime chat did for each team, and by the looks of it, the GB boys have come out strong. They know what they want to do, and we got another ref call there.
Yeah, signalling the ref deck there. It's crisp hands Hugo signalling that one. Obviously being mentored by Vero from Canada there. Hugo known for his crisp signals as opposed to lazy arm Whelan, who's also in this game, one of Parkinson's favourite referees there, as we see GB getting pushed back for a New Zealand free puck here, Tom.
Yeah, and New Zealand are looking to take it to the wall. I mean, that seems to have been the plan the whole game, but they're definitely going to want to make some ground here, Nick.
Yeah, here we go. We can see the Kiwi boys driving up that wall with hitting a very solid line of GB defence. And I think it'll be down to which team decides to stop slugging it out at each other and make something proactive happen. But for now...
Yeah, fierce battle on that wall. And playing guys, how have you been finding that soft wall as a barrier there, Nick?
So I play forward, and I personally love it. You've still got that solid... surface against the tiles, so you can still give it a good bash if you need to, but the plastic, I believe it is, side is really good not only for viewing and people being able to see what we do, but it's also really nice on the shoulders. You don't get scratched up in tiles and cut up, which is awesome.
We see a beautiful swing play there from NZ, but once again, crisp hands Hugo just pulling them back there for an illegal knockdown and a chance for GB to set up a structure on a free play here, Tom.
Yeah, they're piling players forward here. You've got 3 on that line as Tom lines up to take the puck. Charges forwards, throwing it into the middle there, and it looks like New Zealand are doing a good job of clearing it.
And just in terms of these semis and finals, tend to have a lot of refs calls, so good set plays are very important. Especially, so everyone knows what they're doing and having a good advantage, because there's nothing worse than getting a free puck, getting that advantage and not being able to do anything with it. As we see the Kiwis now initiating the drive with a nice GB pickup, and as he goes down for the swim, let's see how the remainder of the GB boys back him up and keep that swim going, and how New Zealand reset and hold off that pressure.
Yeah, it was a strong drive from the Kiwi guys down the corridor there, but once again, GB just managing to tap that puck in behind and get some of their fast movers onto it and push that down the court there. As we see, it's really just a battle in the corridor here. Both teams are electing to play quite straight up and down the middle there, Tom.
Yeah, definitely. Neither team is particularly large. Like you see the South Africans, they got very big players, but they're quite small here, so they're going to want to swim down the corridors. Make use of the channel so they can dummy in, dummy out.
And it's pretty interesting to see when these two teams are playing, seem to be playing two similar styles. If they're both stacking it on the wall, trying to go down that channel, it really does come down to which team is going to execute it better at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's the great catch on the wall there by Elliot Snedden from the NZ Under-19 teams to turn that around. But once again, GB just getting that force behind the puck and managing to push New Zealand back onto that back foot there, Tom.
Yeah, they'll have worked hard on that in training, getting the puck, moving it forward. They've got some pacey guys in that team as well, so they'll be trying to make best use of that.
Yes, and we've got referee Chris Hugo signalling there. I think he signalled a gloving foul, but then he also signalled for all the players to check the time as he tapped his watch, just making some stuff up as he goes along as a referee, which is just keeping the players on their toes, Nick.
Yeah, I heard that's what refs do. They wave their arm a little bit, tap their hands or something, and make up a call.
I mean, when you've got Chris Pans like Hugo, you can't blame him. I would just be signalling flat out if I had hand movements that good, Tom.
Oh, definitely. Some of the refs this tournament, they've been so extravagant, nice little flicks on their hand signals.
All talk aside, though, the refs I have found them to be very good, very professional this tournament, and it's really nice to see. Obviously, everyone tries to be as fair as they want, or as they can.
Huge drive from that New Zealand player off the sub bench there, Nick, as he pushes that one through. But once again, Tom, GB just managing to pick that one off.
Yeah, they've got a strong back line, and they'll be working hard to get it on the ball, reset, drive forward again. Just got to stick to the game plan now. It's going to be tense 10 minutes now.
Well, another strong swim from GB as they dealt with that pressure, and that goes to show a good team. New Zealand came out strong with a fresh sub, and whether GB were tired or not, they absorbed the pressure, they held it down, they locked it down, and then they counter-attacked. So credit to them for that.
Big dolphin kick from GB there, as we saw some strong aggressive play from Cameron Sisson, the NZL on the wall a second ago, and we got another signal. This time, looks like that might be number 6. Is that referee Patrick Meaney in the water, possibly? It is. No, it's referee number 6, Patrick Meaney, but it's number 3, Samuel Hopgood, being pushed back there as we see. Yeah, it's hard to tell what Chris Hugo, he rushed that one a little bit for me. I saw a 15 get signalled, or was it a 6 there, David? Guy Roberts being pulled for obstruction as well, so we've got the old double whammy there against New Zealand as they get pushed back, and that looks like it might be the captain there taking that one, Tom.
Yeah, that was captain Tom Pitchforth. Great player. He's actually been picked this year for the elite team going to the Euros in about a month's time.
Yeah, no, I had a good chat poolside with Tom earlier in the week. Obviously, with the controversy regarding the daughter incident and everything else that's going on, I've been keeping a close eye on this GB under-19 team. Nick, New Zealand, do you think they'd be happy with the position they're in at the moment?
Yeah, it's 1-1. They couldn't ask for anything more. It's not like either team is overly dominating the other team, which is good and bad for the mindset. You don't want to go into a game and just start getting absolutely destroyed, but at the same time, both teams are trading shots. So I think they'll be fairly happy, but the last 8 minutes will come down to the team that wants it more. Which team can be more clinical and executing their plays how they want to. As we see
a big drive. Referee parking himself right in the corner there. That looks like referee Patrick Meaney just doing a beautiful job of obstructing our view as New Zealand managed to clear that one across to the side, with advantage being signalled on the surface.
I believe that's Nathan Brown. And good to see great numbers from both teams on that goal bin. If that puck gets anywhere close to that bin...
Yeah, Nath Whelan there signalling the end of the advantage and signalling a foul here. This will be interesting. Close to the goal tray on this one. We've got a gloving from Lazy Hands Whelan there as he pushes the Kiwis back onto their bun right here in front of goals, and a great opportunity for GB, Tom.
Yeah, definitely they'll be trying to get a goal here. It's, what they want, what they've been working for. And it'll be interesting to see what they try and do here. Do they drive straight in? Do they try and draw the players out by switching it around and then turning it back in? It's
strong. Yeah, Tom managing to slot the gap there. Just hesitating on that one and holding back to give the players a chance to come out at him, but it hasn't worked for them. NZ have managed to sweep that wide and out of danger there, Nick.
Yeah, it's good. You never want to be sitting in front of your goal with the puck coming down there, so they've done great work to absorb the flick, I believe it was, and taking it to the wall for a bit of safety, and now they look to counter-attack as the flick goes off, but unfortunately no one is there to receive it, and a good pick up by the GB number 4. As the player now moves over to our sub-bench.
Yeah, Kiwi player just running out of legs there, Nick, and letting that one go a bit loose. He's got advantage from Chris Hugo as he then turns that into a signal. I've got a feeling this will probably go against New Zealand, and it's unsportsmanlike. NZ number 11, Cameron Sisson. We saw his aggression on the wall before, and sadly it's come out into a dangerous play there, and he's gotten 2 minutes. And great opportunity for GB here, Tom. Penalty play.
Yeah, definitely. They'll be wanting to take advantage of this extra man. You know, you've got to really make use of this, and even if they don't, the Kiwi boys are going to get tired here. You know, they've got to put in 2 minutes of extra effort now with just their 5 players.
And I'd have to ask the question, Tom, just out of interest, whether the GB boys have been off perhaps training at a marine institute or with some sea mammals of some description. Because I see they really favour that dolphin kick and they get that big double leg going. Is Flipper someone who you've got in for special comments, or have you been getting a dolphin trainer in to help the team? Or
Well, you know, some of the lads are from up north and there's quite a few whales around there, but I can't really say that, can I? Sorry, I'm sorry to the north. You're not all whales.
The north never forgets either, mate.
No, I've already been told off quite a lot by the north for some of my comments, so I do apologise.
As you see, 10 seconds left in this timeout here, and a great opportunity for GB to put something in. NZ setting a nice wide defensive stack there, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, you're down to 5 men. Again, semi-final, what do? You've got to, get rid of everything, clear your head. You're a man down, so everything has to be done that much more perfect. All right, they're probably going to be looking to hold it down, really. Oh, we've got an advantage being called by the ref. Like I was saying, they're going to be looking to slow it down, not do anything too crazy.
Yeah, look at that elbow movement. Can you see how flat? It's a work of art. He's not just signalling. He's telling a story of the play. He's
putting real work into that. Maybe he's practicing for the after party, getting those dance moves in early. He's definitely going to be one to watch on Saturday night.
And as New Zealand get that advantage, they get a bit of freedom now. Got their 5-man. They can choose what they want to do with it as they wind down the clock, getting Cameron Sisson back in the pool. And perfect for them, sitting right by their subs bench, so they can, get down there, suck it up, do some good quality work, then get out. The next person can come in, and hopefully that can be enough for them to get back in their rhythm.
Yeah, it's an interesting position they're in there, wedged underneath that NZ sub bench. It can go either way. It's really an opportunity for New Zealand to get the fresh legs in and make that big drive up the pool. But also, if GB's switched on, if New Zealand dumps some numbers too quickly into that substitution bun, then you can really get GB making that aggressive 45 at the tray, Tom.
Yeah, you've got to be careful with your subs. You want to get fresh players in, but there's been times before where you've had 3 players sub out at once, and you suddenly concede a goal, and there's been a warning here.
Yeah, GB number 11 being warned for hugging, I'm being told there, but also an obstruction foul. But I do like the hugging. That's a new one for me. That's Nathan Archer. Any goss on Nathan?
Excessive hugging.
So Nathan, another northerner, so he probably dislikes me quite a lot at the moment. Very good friends with Captain Tom Pitchforth.
That's it? That's all you got for me?
I'm afraid that's all I've got.
How am I supposed to work with that? You got Zach with his spray tans.
Adding on to your comment before about how it's good and bad for the Kiwis being under their sub-bench, as there is a drive towards the goal.
Dangerous position here for New Zealand.
What we can't see much from this angle, but a very good attack by GB. And a good counter-defence by New Zealand. See that one breath by, not sure what the number was, but that black New Zealand went down. Had a crack on the puck, straight back down.
Referee in a good position there to keep an eye on what's going on. Just Patrick Meney there camping out on the corner of the tray. There's a strong drive from GB on the back wall. New Zealand getting numbers in behind. It's a feeding frenzy in there. Yeah. Tom, can GB finish one? It's come out. We've got a signal from the referees here prior to that going in. It'll be interesting to see. But the 3 referees looking, signalling. We've got aggressive signalling from number 4 there from NZ. Not happy with that, Elian Snedden, but it's GB number 5, Christopher Gilson, putting that one in. Finally, he puts one in after we mistakenly gave him the first goal of the game there, Tom. You must be happy to see GB go ahead there.
Yeah, very happy, and he'll be happy with that. Belgian-blooded beauty, Christoph Gilson. He's going to be happy with that goal.
And Coach Richard Adams there signalling a timeout for GB for a chance for them to regroup. Do you think they'll park the bus here, Tom? Is this going to be a shut the game down for the last remaining time, or do you think they'll keep going hard after this one?
I see them going for it, really. I mean, with New Zealand have such a strong attack that if they just go to try and hold it in their corner, it's not going to work. The Kiwis will be able to get it out of the corner and drive forward, so they can't afford to let that happen.
And Nick, 3 minutes 30 left in this game. What's Sam saying to his troops? What's the war cry here?
I think is, you've got to be realistic to a point and you say, boys, look, we're a goal down. This is our semi-final. This is our last chance. You've got to give it to them straight. I'm sure they know what they need to do, and I'm sure they know how they can execute it. So now it just comes down to who wants it the most. All right, and like Tom was saying, regardless of any team, trying to play it slow and putting it in the corner may seem like the best option, but again, we're at a semi-finals with 4 amazing teams. If you sit there and try and hold it, not even just backing New Zealand, any other team, they will get in there and they will find a way to score.
And NZ comes in strong off that strike there as the New Zealand crowd getting right behind their team as they push off. We saw the New Zealand vice-captain there, Cameron Sisson, the number 11, few words of inspiration for his team before they pushed off, and they've come out strong. We've got a signal from the referees here as we go to the surface. We've got Nathan Whelan hunting number 11 from one team. Obstruction against number 11. And that's Cameron Sisson, who we were just talking about. Or 6, sorry, I'm being blonde here. 5 and 1 is 6, not 11. That's good, Nick. So it's Guy Roberts there from NZ being binned for a minute.
Yeah, unfortunately, bad time for the Kiwis to get another sin bin. Now they're back down to 5. Now they've got to reset. They've got to figure out, again, how are we going to crack this GB defence while defending on our own with 5 men. But, again, you can never count anyone out as...
Another signal coming up. We did have advantage being played. So Chris Pans Chavez there signalling illegal knockdown and pushing GB back. So good pressure there from NZ down a player. And Sam doing some hard gesticulating from the bench to signal his players. I love a good gesticulation from a coach, Tom. It gets me excited.
Oh, definitely. And I don't know if you've seen much of the under-23s, but Graham Fletcher is definitely one to watch. He'll be on the bottom, waving, shouting.
And just for Carl Butterworth's knowledge, I'm incredibly blonde, which is why I'm happy to take the mickey out of myself. So don't stress out too, mate. All those blonde people out there, you don't have to be stupid like me. It's just me that can carry the flag for the stupid blonde people. As New Zealand putting some great pressure in here, Nick, and this is a good position for them with 1:50 left.
Yeah, and it's our first real time to see what they can do in the corner as the puck's been played on the other side of the pool. 1:40 left. It's do or die time. I think everyone on the bottom, the GBs, have had great numbers, and I was also going to compliment their defence. The Kiwis have been throwing some strong moves, counters, set plays, whatever, and the GBs boys have done really well, just like they have now. The puck was in their corner, and they've managed to push it out effectively.
And there's a big call here for Zach Tate to channel his spray tan, wrench the energy out of his skin into his lungs, and just pull off that 1:18 breath hold and just pin that puck in the corner as New Zealand's still applying strong pressure. And whether Zach's up to that challenge, we'll find out as it's jammed underneath this GB sub-bench. Do you think Tom, can the boys close it out from here?
Yeah, I think they've got a really good chance of doing it if they just keep their heads. You've got Christoph down there on the puck at the moment, just holding it in the corner. And it's going to be a nervy last minute for them, but all they need to do is just hold the puck now. Don't let Kiwis play their game.
Okay, the NZ team is back to 6 with the last 50 seconds on the clock. They need to get this puck out of the corner. We've got advantage being played by the referee on the surface. It's action here. We're going to have to watch the corner rule quite closely here. We've got crisp, look at that crisp hands Chavez there spinning, and we've gone to the foul. The elbow is working. He's greased it up. He is ready to go. We watch in anticipation, and it's GB being pushed back. So it'll be a New Zealand 5-2 free puck in their attack there. Nick, what's the play here? What's the set?
I think they've just got to go for it. I mean, like we've been saying, they're a goal down. It's a do-or-die situation. They've got to get that puck in that bin, and they've got to do it as they drive forward.
Strong numbers behind the puck there. Looked like it might have come off a GB arm, but they've managed to sweep that to that far corner as Hugo finds himself like a tinned tuna up on the side there. He's trying to pull off the Simon Talbot manoeuvre, but he doesn't have the flexibility, and he is cracked in that corner. Can he get it out of that corner, Tom?
It doesn't look like he can. He's stuck there.
With 10 seconds to go, it was a great play by GB to absorb that free puck, and credit to them. They've taken it to the wall, they've held it out, and they have just advanced into the final of the Under-19 Men 2017 age group world champions.
There's a fair bit of emotion on the surface there, Nick. Those players, the GB boys, incredibly happy with their effort. Tip of the hat to New Zealand. Sam's beard sadly couldn't get them over the line in the end, but they've put in a valiant effort, come right down to the wire, and really could have gone either way at the end there. And GB just managing to have the power to sweep that one wide. Richard Adams, he'd be pretty happy with his boys there.
Yeah, he'll be very pleased. I mean, they came so far in Castellon. I was in that team as well. We lost in the semi-final. but this will mean the world to them now. I mean, New Zealand, you deserve a mention. They played a great game. It was really, really brilliant hockey to watch.
Yeah, and yeah, like saying, credit to the NZ boys, they did really well, but unfortunately they couldn't crack which on the day was a better GB team. They did really well at countering all of the New Zealand defence. They held out really well, had some good numbers, and when it counted and came down to crunch time with that advantage puck on their goal bin, they absorbed it, they kept their cool heads, they took it to the corner, and they took the win.
And Carl Butterworth, just calm down there, Tiger. It's all right. There's always another day. We don't need to be getting like that. Nick, look, thanks for joining us in the commentary booth today. Good luck with your game this afternoon.
Yep.
And Tom, thanks for joining us. Sadly, ladies and gentlemen, due to the not issues we've had, but due to the amazing games we've had going to Golden Goal extra time, we are running short on the clocks in between games and don't have enough time to bring you any interviews, but we'll see you for the next game here in Court 1, which is the second of the Under-19 men's semi-finals. Set to be a cracker, France versus Australia, so don't go anywhere. Join us for the stream in the next game.